So wait, how did you find out about his infidelities the first time around?
He left a review for an escort.
That's just sloppy.
Yeah, that's why I thought that's why I thought that I was like, my friend's like, oh well, he's asking to get caught, like he doesn't care anymore, you know. And I read the review and it was very like he wanted to see her again, and it wasn't like this girl. I saw her page, I saw her like ad, and she wasn't just like an on call. It was like someone you have to like book, and like she has like a website where you like send your information, and she was like not cheap. She was not cheap. And it was like a thing you had to like plan, and she was like gonna come into town, and like so she was coming into LA, and like he booked her and he left a review.
When you say not cheap, how expensive is not cheap?
Like, I don't know, like $1,000 for an
$1,000
hour. It was $1,000 an hour, dude. She was not cheap.
Oh my god. Welcome to Unattainable. Glad to have you with us and hope you'll continue to be a part of our family for the foreseeable future. And if so, please hit that subscribe button. You can watch and listen to our show on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and all the other platforms. Today we have a very special guest here, Kendall, model, entrepreneur. Welcome. How's it going?
Hi, it's going good.
How was your Sunday so far?
Good. I'm just excited to
be on the show.
On the show, yeah.
Thanks for being late.
Yeah, sorry about that.
I'm just messing with you. I know you've been
like
anxious about it.
When you have stuff to do the next day.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you do?
So I'm 19. I am from Southern California. I'm
born and raised.
Born and raised, yep. And yeah, I started modeling last April. And I really enjoy it. I really enjoy getting the pictures taken and, you know, seeing yourself in like a different light, which is cool. And I've met a lot of great people doing it. And then also just kind of like creating my own brand. And
what's the brand you've been working on?
So the Kendall brand has just been like a new journey, like a new step in.
When did you start it? How long ago?
I started it last April. So I was doing some like promotions for parties and I needed pictures taken, and I started getting pictures taken, and I realized I was like, I like modeling way better than what I was doing and like doing the promotions. And so I just kind of like wanted to pursue that. And the people that I met, I fortunately met some really great people and really great photographers that just welcomed me with open arms.
Uh-huh.
And so, yeah, I've been very appreciative for all the people who kind of, you know, even though you get discouraged sometimes, you know, they tell you to keep pushing.
So the brand you're talking about is not a clothing brand?
No,
okay.
It's me.
Gotcha. Okay, because at first I thought you were talking about a
Hopefully we'll be doing
brand.
some clothing. Hopefully we'll be doing some merchandise.
Got it.
Soon, but yeah.
I mean, that would be a good idea.
Yeah, just for now. For now, we'll do some pictures.
So what do you do with the pictures? You just sell them?
Yeah, sell the pictures, and then wait for people to want to use me for their brand or for, you know, promoting like their products and things like that.
So pretty much like an influencer, but is there any difference? Because the way you're describing it is...
It's like an influencer.
Okay.
Yeah. But I just kind of wanted, you know, like it's...
Put your own spin to it.
Put my own spin on it. Yeah. And also it's not necessarily like... I want to be able to like separate it. Like I want to be able to separate it from like me as a person versus like this is like kind of like a little alter ego. Got it.
It's a good idea. Because again, ultimately you'll be able to turn it into an actual clothing brand as well.
Hopefully.
So you're welcome for the idea. I mean, it's pretty obvious.
Not like we weren't going to put all my pictures blasted on t-shirts.
Right. Is that what you're trying to do?
Yeah. Why not? You know, we'll get some pictures. I want to do posters. I want to do a calendar. I want to do stuff with like other models. I want to, you know, get something going. And
you're into
maybe
it for the long haul.
yeah, and maybe potentially like manage other people, get into like business, and yeah, because I love marketing. So
Do you do all that stuff for yourself?
yeah, I do everything. I've been like solely independent for,
Oh wow,
yeah,
that's pretty good. That's pretty good. When's your birthday?
September
September what?
23rd.
Oh, you're a, what is it? Libra.
Mm-hmm.
You're a Libra.
Yep,
Yeah. I
I'm a
always get the Leo and the Libras mixed.
yeah,
For some reason.
so I'm on the cusp. So
Yeah.
I'm the 23rd, which
I'm
is
the
like,
18th.
oh,
I'm
so
a
you're a
Virgo,
Virgo.
yeah.
Virgo, yep.
Interesting. How many? Well, I have this thing. I have this theory about. I have this theory about Libras. How many relationships have you been in?
Hundreds.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. I personally don't consider any relationship after or before 18. Like any high school relationships or relationships.
Like little things, little like whatever. I mean, I would say I've never had like a long-term
Right.
relationship. But I have had a lot of long-term friendships, like a lot of long-term kind of like on and off where we're not necessarily together. We're kind of like just, have a lot
Are
of
you a
chemistry.
relationship type?
Yes, I'm very romantic. I have a lot of love for the people and I fall very easily. So, but it's hard because, you know where your love lies with somebody, but you don't know where their love lies with you.
Sure.
I mean, when
In
there's
matter
not,
of
when there's
speaking.
not communication.
Of course. Yeah. 100%. I have this theory that Libras are very unloyal.
I think because we're always trying to like find something. We're always trying. I mean, for me
Yeah.
specifically, I don't want to speak for everybody, but like I feel like I've never felt like reassured enough in a relationship to want to stay.
Right.
And I'm constantly seeking out I don't want to say like, I don't want to like solidify people's beliefs or like validate something that someone has said or that we're like always seeking out something new, because I don't think that's like always the case. But like for me, I need like a lot of reassurance, and if I don't get that, I'm like, okay, maybe like he's not gonna want to be in a relationship with me. Let me go find someone who does want to be in a relationship.
So you pull the plug first before somebody else.
Yeah.
Can.
So I definitely like, start questioning things and start like asking for reassurance, and then like I feel like they get pushed away.
Right. Interesting. Yeah, I think the fear of rejection is probably the biggest factor in the younger generation nowadays.
I think it's also like, I always believe like if you like somebody, show them and like tell them, and like don't play games. I don't know if it was like the way I was raised or like what it is. Like I never understood like the texting games or like the waiting to text back or like you can't double text. So I was always like texting them or calling them, like not overboard or anything like that, but just like checking up on them. Like, and then when my girlfriends would be like, babe, like you can't do that. Like, why are you texting him like that? Like, why are you doing that? I was like, oh shit, like, am I scaring him away? Like, and I also kind of feel like guys get in other guys' head. Like, oh, if she's texting you, that means she like is like obsessive or too clingy or something.
Sure.
When in reality, it's just like they're kind of just showing that they care.
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah. So I'm not about the games.
Yeah.
I will let you know that I like you.
Well, that's good. And I think that's how it should be. And hopefully more people get into that sort of mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have
you been in LA your whole time? Like you never moved anywhere else?
Never moved.
Where in LA were you born?
So I was born in Torrance.
Okay.
But I lived in Woodland Hills, West Hills, like my whole life. So yeah, I'm a Valley girl. But yeah, I mean, I've been all around LA. I've been like working and spending some time in like Newport and Irvine, so I really like that area. I really like the Valley. I think it's like really chill.
Have you been outside of California?
Yeah, I've been to different states, and I've been to England and Mexico.
Where's your favorite?
Probably Mexico.
You like Mexico better than the UK?
No, well, because my mom's from England.
Okay.
And so I've only ever been there when I was like really young, and I don't necessarily remember. Mexico has been like the only really like vacation trip. I've been there a few times, like Puerto Vallarta, Loreto. Tulum.
You're 19. You've gone that many times?
To Mexico?
Yeah.
3 times? 4
times?
times?
4 times? Oh, wow. How old were you when you went the first time?
It was like a family trip when I was like probably like 16.
Okay.
16, and then I went 17, and then 18 or 19. So like every like once a year.
For what?
Okay, so family trip, family little vacation.
Sure.
And then when I went to Tulum, I actually went with like a sugar daddy. And I was telling you, so I went to Tulum with a sugar daddy, and I was like super excited because he was cute and we had good vibes, like everything was good, but he didn't want to do like any excursions. Like he didn't want to like even swim. Like, and I like, we're in Mexico. Like, aren't we supposed to be swimming?
How old is he?
Like 34, 35.
Okay, so not that
like
old.
Yeah. And yeah, he didn't even want to like get in the water or anything. He just like wanted to lay down or like chill in the room or order room service every single night. And I'm like, dude, we're in Tulum. Like, let's go to a restaurant. Like, let's go out. And he just like was not having it. And I'm
Maybe he was married.
No. Like he was just this young, like kind of bachelor dude, and you know, great chemistry. Like everything was fine. But then I'm like, what? It's a waste of a vacation. Like, we're here for like a week. We're not doing anything. We're just like sitting in the hotel room and then like going out to swim. No spa, no treats, like no special anything. And then the trip got cut short. So he was like, we're supposed to be there for a week. 4 days in, he's like, I got to go leave for work or whatever. Something's going on at my job. I'm like, okay, that's fine. You know, just get me a flight back. He got me a flight, and he said it was the cheapest flight because all the other ones were like going to be like $4 or $5 grand. He got me a flight from Cancun to Minneapolis to LA. So I had to fly like way out of my way, like 5 hours out of my way, and then fly 5 hours home.
So I had one stop, yeah.
Like, I got totally fucked with my flight. And then he was just kind of like being very like not caring anymore, like not like just kind of being very dismissive. Like, I don't know, I think he was just kind of like, okay, like trip's over, like I don't have to like act like I like you anymore or something like that. And so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go run off. And so I went, the last day we were on the beach, I met these guys and I met this family, and one of the guys in the group I thought was really cute, and we just started chatting up. We actually went to dinner that night. We went to like the bar, and I totally left the sugar daddy like in the room because he was like packing his stuff. He was like leaving, and I was going to be there for one more day until I was getting my flight the next day.
Right.
And so me and this new guy that I met, we were running around the beach. We were he was giving me piggyback rides on the beach. We went to a dinner, and then I went back to the room, said goodbye to the guy. I was like, oh, I'm going to go hang out with this family I met. And I did meet a family, but I didn't, tell him that I was like seeing another dude.
So he never found out?
No.
You just went, you hung out with the new dude.
Hung out with a new dude, yeah. Because he was so much more fun. He was like being nice.
So, and that was your last night, and then you just came back?
Yeah, that was, yeah.
And then did you hear from the guy ever again or no?
No.
Oh, wow.
No. He like owed me money too. He paid for everything there, but like I paid for like my checked bag and like my Uber home, and I was like, can you send me some like $200? And I like didn't hear from him. I was like, damn, I didn't think we had a bad time. I thought we had a great time. I was just kind of bored.
Well, this is interesting because you described it as he owed you money.
Kind of. I kind of feel like if like it's like expected, like if like, okay, the flight is paid for, like everything else is paid for, like I feel like it shouldn't have to like come out of my pocket, and I don't want to like come off as like any type of way when like saying that.
Entitled?
No. I think that's kind of like what was expected. I think there were expectations set, and I think like, if I like put up my end of the deal, I feel like he should have put up his, you know what I mean? And I didn't get that. And
what would your end of the deal be?
Oh my God, don't ask me that.
Why? Wouldn't that be the whole point?
To go to Tulum, to go be a sugar baby.
Is that all?
Yeah. And what do sugar babies do? We be cute, lay out on the beach. What went down.
Are you on an app for that?
Yeah, Seeking Arrangements.
Okay.
That's where you find a sugar daddy. Everyone knows that. Everyone knows
Not
about seeking
everybody.
arrangements. Yeah, you know about seeking arrangements.
I do. I just want
Okay,
the
well,
audience
the
to know.
you go and seek arrangements. And that's where you find a sugar daddy. But you have to be careful because some of them might take you to Tulum and then not even get in the water.
Hey, if that's the worst thing that could happen. But okay, so
it's not the worst thing, but it's
no, absolutely. So okay. Wow. So much to unpack here.
Hey, someone had to say it.
I don't particularly disagree with you on the fact that if there is, I mean, the app's name is Seeking Arrangement, so you know that would be particularly the arrangement, the financial end of it to be fulfilled.
My checked bag would be paid for.
Sure.
Or my Uber.
Right. Okay. When you look back or when you think back to this story that you just said,
yeah,
do you think there's anything that? So why do you think he never reached out or like replied? Like what would your
maybe
reasoning
I
be?
wasn't his type. Maybe I don't know. Maybe
So you guys hadn't met before at all.
no, we had not. Well, we were like FaceTiming, and I like screened him. You know, obviously made sure he wasn't like a serial killer. And I remember when we FaceTimed, the first question I asked him, I was like, "Am I gonna get trafficked?"
But how do you expect a trafficker to say yes to that? I'm like confused.
You know, obviously you.
But
will
what was he
never
gonna say?
know.
Yes, you will.
No, obviously you can't know, and like you know, you can't. They're not gonna answer that question clearly. If they were gonna traffic me, I don't think they would let me know. But you know, there are ways to screen someone and make sure they're legit and make sure that you're not gonna get hurt or
Okay.
But in the end, you can't like necessarily screen someone and make sure that everything's gonna go smoothly or everything's gonna you're gonna like each other. I thought we liked each other. I thought we had good chemistry, but maybe there just wasn't something that maybe I wasn't the girl, And I don't know if really the trip got cut short because of work. I don't know if it was because maybe he was like, this isn't fun for me. Maybe I don't know, but I don't think it was necessarily anything I did on my part. I'm a very like chill person. Like I go into situations, like I read the room before I speak, and yeah, I don't think I necessarily
did anything.
I don't know. Yeah, I just don't know. I just don't think that maybe we just like didn't vibe well, or enough for him to want to see me again.
Got it.
And that happens.
I agree with you. I mean, there's some people who don't match properly, and that's fairly normal, right? It's just interesting to me that girls are nowadays going through with the because okay, to me that's like very risky, like what you did.
Personally, 100%. And I wouldn't suggest like somebody just go on like a trip with a random person. I mean, I prefer to, now I know it's so much better to have that connection with somebody first.
Right.
And to like go out with them and like actually get to know them, because like arrangements do work. Like seeing an older guy, like it does work, but you have to have that attraction to them. Because if you're not attracted to them, you're going to be sitting at dinner like, why am I with this person? Like this looks weird. Yeah. It looks weird. And you're going to like, people are going to see it on your face that you're not comfortable. But if you actually are enjoying yourself with that person, you're not going to give a damn about what anybody else is looking at you when you're at dinner. Because you're going to be like, wow, I actually enjoy myself with this person. I don't care what other people think or what I do. And that's kind of like the basis of like the arrangement. Like I think older men are scared of what people think, and younger women are scared of what their friends will think, peers will think. And if you are attracted to that person and you have chemistry with that person, I think age is like just a number. And as long as you're two consenting adults and everything is like safe, you don't
see a problem with that.
I don't see a problem.
Yeah. So, are you mostly into older men?
No. It like
would you date a 22-year-old?
Yeah, but like if they're like if the attraction was there and like it was like mutual, I feel like at this point I've sought out relationships and they haven't always been like everything hasn't like worked out.
Have you dated anybody who's been broke?
Yeah.
Would you now?
Not now, because like I think I'm at a place where I'm like I have a car, I have
financially more comfortable.
I have like dependable sources of income and things like that. And when I was like younger, like 16, I would use my last $30 to like Uber to this guy's house, and we would hustle and walk dogs or work at the juice shop to make any bit of money just to spend it on like weed and food and stuff like that. Or like I would, be at the place like making food or cutting avocados with a Swiss Army knife, cooking with plastic utensils. Like literally we had nothing. And I loved him so much that I just wanted to like show him that I was like, that I could like be there for him or we could make it work.
Sure.
But then like his car would get towed and he wouldn't even have money to like take it out back, because the car was less expensive than the tickets that piled up. And I was just like, I can't do that. Like I can't, he's like asking me to come over, asking to use his last bit of money to Uber me over. And I felt bad because I'm like, babe, like you can't use your last $30 to Uber me over. Because he was also like, he was really like into sex, and so he wanted sex a lot, and so he would like want me to come over to have sex, and I'm like, babe, like you have to go to work, like you have to make money.
So now there's like a certain standard you have for
not necessarily I think just kind of like I guess like I guess, but I don't want to say like there's like a standard, because it's like you love who you love, you'll if you like somebody and they don't have much, like you don't want to shy them away because they don't have much. You want to be open to willing to help them.
Yeah, I also think that that's something that you could build as time goes by, unless the person's
I mean, that guy
a bum.
now, we still talk as friends, and he records music videos now. He always was a hard worker, and that's why I really appreciated him, was because he always was like a hard worker. He wasn't like just like somebody who wasn't about working or anything. I think it's just a lot of things didn't work out, and he came from like another state, and it's like LA is really hard to make it, and you're gonna come like upon a lot of struggles. And now he's doing really, really well for himself, so I'm really happy that we're able to like overcome that. And I'm
stay
also
friends,
and I'm also doing really well for myself, better than I was then.
You got to be proud of yourself.
I am. Yeah.
Are you an only child?
No, I have an older sister. We're 18 months apart, so she just turned 21 in March.
Does she do modeling as well, or no?
No, she plays soccer, and she's in college.
What position?
I'm not sure. She used to play forward and defense a lot.
Okay.
So she's probably on defense.
You don't watch her games?
No.
Why? Do you guys not talk?
We do, but we're not like close.
Okay.
We're very like opposite people. Yeah.
In what way?
She likes purple. I like blue.
Interesting.
Just we like different things, and
I guess she's in college, and like
we always would butt heads a lot, and so I think it was kind of like I don't think she minded that I didn't come to her games. I used to a lot. I would go to tournaments. That was a lot of the traveling I did, was tournaments when I was younger.
Is that right?
Going to my sister's tournaments.
But then working, or just like going for her?
Going for her.
Oh, okay.
When we were like younger.
Got
we were kids.
Got it. Interesting. So, how often do you go on the app? Are you like on there more often than not, or
Seeking Arrangements?
Yeah.
It depends. Like, I'll check it, and I get overwhelmed because I have like so many messages.
Sure.
And then I like will try to reply to some, but then I won't check it for like a week. And I'll go back and I'll be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't message you for like a week or something.
I've always wondered, like, what is so like in your mind,
I think you really have to want it. Like, I really think you have to want, you can't just like want immediate like outcome. Like, you can't just want like immediate like satisfaction or like immediate spoiling, or these guys to like, be like flooding you with like money and messages or whatever. Like, you have to like really want it. You have to really show that like you're in it, and that you want to be with that person or spend time with that person.
Well, I always wonder to myself, like, what is are, are you looking for a relationship on there, or are you looking to just make money?
It depends. Like, well, for me, I think I'm looking for like a mix of both.
Okay.
I think I'm looking for like
You want a
financials,
guy,
but
yeah.
you can't get financials without the relationship.
Sure.
Like, or else you're literally just like hooking up and then getting some money, and then like, you know, and it's only good if it's consistent.
Right.
If it's like you're seeing them twice a week, you're hooking up, you know, hooking up with hopefully somebody you're actually attracted to,
Right.
and then getting some
Hopefully.
money and then going home. Yeah. No, for me, I think, like, let me explain like my last like arrangement or whatever.
Sure.
So, he was very persistent in the messages. You know, he was like, "Hey, I don't message a lot of people. I find you really attractive. You know, I actually..."
Not the Cancun guy. Different.
No,
Okay.
no. Yeah, so he was like, "I find you really attractive, and I want to, you know, take you out, or like, let's find common interests." So we were talking about snowboarding. We were talking about going to like Colorado or something because he rented a place out there or whatever. So we're like, okay, cool, we'll go to dinner. We go to dinner 3 times. Our chemistry was great. We would like kiss a little after dinner, but we never hooked up. He had his assistant book flights for Colorado for us to go snowboarding. When I got to Colorado, he started just buying me like snowboard gear, like boots, bindings, board, like everything, you know, making sure I was all hooked up. But again, like no money exchange in hand, like no nothing. Like maybe if I asked, he would, but I liked him. I was attracted to him. Our chemistry was good. Our intimacy was great, you know, and so I didn't feel the need to ask for things. I felt like I was being taken care of. We went out again to go snowboarding, Valentine's Day. I heard some stuff that kind of like raised red flags that, you know, I was worried that the minute I went home that there would be another girl there, or, you know, that I wasn't, you know, that he wasn't going to keep me consistently or whatever. And so I was like, oh, well, let me try to get something out of him. So I was like, oh, babe, I didn't pack enough clothes. Like, I need to go shopping. Like, I need some clothes. And I took him to a little boutique, and I didn't know how expensive this boutique was. I just took him to one of the little shops in the small town, the ski town we were in. And we go into the shop, and this shit is expensive. Like $300 cashmere sweaters, like everything is over $100. Like, and I just started picking everything out. Didn't care, like picking everything out. Sweaters, shirts, started trying everything on, and he just bought it all for me. And I felt like that was like, okay, that's showing me that I'm being taken care of. I want to show him that, you know, that like I like him and that I want to take care of him, you know. Maybe whether it's be intimate, whether it be like with affection, whether it just be, you know, looking good when we're out. And so
what happened?
So we got back from our trip, and I assume that we've been like chatting, but, you know, just, it's not like we're not in a relationship, you know, so I don't feel like I feel the need to pester him. He doesn't pester me. It's just kind of like very chill, and then when we see each other, like we'll see each other, or like when, you know, he wants to see me.
So that's what the arrangement is right now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Interesting.
And I got a little snow trip. I got new snowboarding gear, which is really cool, so I'm very appreciative of that. And like a nice...
And a bunch of clothes.
Yeah, and a bunch of clothes, like fucking $2,000 of fucking clothes.
Okay. So... And he's happy with that arrangement, obviously.
Yeah.
Because, you know, otherwise, why would he be doing it?
Yeah.
But is there a scenario where you think to yourself that... Like, is he a type of person who you think can't get girls without doing all this?
No. I think he's the type, like, he is very
he
much, he could, yes.
Okay.
And I think that's for a lot of these guys, too.
But have you asked them, like, why choose
They're just too busy. They're just too busy. They don't want to deal with a girlfriend. They don't want to deal with that. All the guys that I've talked to, they are just too busy. Like, they can totally, for sure. One guy I talked to, he had a 25-year-old model girlfriend. Mm-hmm. She was fucking hot. I was jealous because he actually was really wanting to like see me and be with me, and I was like, you have to cut her off, and he didn't want to cut her off. And because he wanted me to elope, he wanted to get married. He was older, he wanted to get married, have kids, and I was not ready for that. I did not want to elope. Like, I was not ready for that, and so he kept her around, and she was like a real deal, like a longtime girlfriend, you know. And so I don't necessarily think that there's anything wrong or bad or like, oh, they have to do this or they have to pay for this. I genuinely just think they don't have the time.
Yeah, I mean, most relationships are arrangements, regardless of how you look
Of
at it.
course.
So,
And
one way or
you're
another.
going to get something out of it no matter what, whether it's love,
Right.
affection, or money.
It's interesting because I was thinking about what you said, um, and so while you're, well, I guess you're still like open to seeing other guys while you're
I think I'm
seeing like this
I think
guy.
the end goal is like finding somebody my age that I want to get married to. Being in like a long-term relationship, like few years, having that monogamy, having that one person that you
Monogamy is
share.
important to you.
Yeah, of course, and having that one person that you eventually like want to spend the rest of your life with. But right now, I don't think I'm gonna find that right now, and so I feel like I'm just kind of like having fun and capitalizing off my beauty.
Sure.
Yeah,
If you
no.
do find it, would you be willing to
To like draw, of course,
drop everything?
because you want to show that person that respect,
Right.
And if you can't show them that respect, then why are they going to want to be with you? But I think it's about finding that person that is willing to accept you for who you are and all the things that you have done, and be like, okay, now where do we move from there? Where do we move forward now? Like, are you willing to take it seriously? Like, you have to have that communication where it's like, okay, we have to find out how serious each other are and if we're willing to take this further.
So
And-
somebody you find and he's like, you fall in love, he falls in love with you, and he's like, hey, listen, like, this has gotten serious and I feel like I see myself being with you, but like
I would really appreciate that conversation. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like I haven't gotten that. I feel like I haven't like I've shown, myself to that person, and they'll show themselves to me, but then I get very mixed reactions.
Sure.
Like, it's very wishy-washy. It's like, okay, I like you. Okay, no, you're liking me too much. Oh, I like you. It was the best sex I ever had. I really like you. Oh, I can't date you because I feel like you were too clingy. It's very, very like, I think it's a lot of like assumptions,
right.
a lot of, self-worry, maybe like their own insecurities getting the best of them, and then my insecurities getting the best of me. But if I had somebody came to me with that conversation, that topic, of course, I'd be all open ears. I'd be like, yeah, I'm like, I appreciate that because that's showing me that you're ready to take things to the next step. I want to take things to the next step.
But would you be willing to then, if somebody said, hey, like, no more modeling stuff, no more seeking arrangement stuff, I want to spend my life with you, like,
Yeah.
you're okay doing
Yeah,
that?
of course. Yeah. I think
Wow.
it's about finding that person now.
Who's worth making the sacrifices to.
Yeah. I don't think it's necessarily a sacrifice. I think it's like you're moving on to a new chapter in your life. Because anybody can
Well, it'd be a sacrifice to a certain extent for you, because financially you're no longer.
Yeah, but there's always other things to do. Like, there's always other, like, of course, I want to go back to school. I want to get degrees. I want to travel. I want to have somebody to travel with. Yeah, I do. Would it be 10 times better if, it was like you're going to Tulum with somebody you've been in a long-term relationship with and you're sharing that time, or like it's a special occasion, or like it's a holiday and you're going with somebody that, is necessarily maybe your age, or somebody you can bring home to your parents.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's better, but also not all of those relationships are picture perfect like you see.
Of course.
Like, every relationship is going to have their issues or their whatever.
It takes hard work.
Yeah.
All of those relationships take hard work.
Yeah.
You mentioned something. You said, I don't. In the beginning, you said with this guy that you mentioned you were seeing, that you were like kissing, but like nothing happened.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing happened because you didn't want anything to happen, or just like he didn't want anything to happen.
Oh yeah, we just went home. We would leave dinner, give each other a little goodnight kiss, and just go home. And there wasn't.
So like, he wouldn't
any-
make a move on you.
No.
Interesting.
Yeah. There wasn't any like go back to my place or.
Were you
let's get
wondering
a-
why?
Huh?
Were you wondering why?
Yes, but I.
Because I'm wondering why.
Like, why it wasn't. I think he was trying to maybe find someone like that he did like or that he was attracted to, and it wasn't just like
About sex.
about sex. And I think you realize that it's not always about sex. You don't need to try a girl out to know if you like her.
Sure.
Like, you really don't, you know.
Yeah.
The sex it's going to be okay regardless.
I agree with you. Yeah. I've always had this rule of a month to 3 month wait with the person that I'm dating.
Yeah.
So if I like somebody that
See,
I know I like.
That's not, I hear that from people. I feel like it's very divided, and I don't want to put people in two boxes, like, oh, it's either this or it's this. I really wish that more people did wait. I really wish that there was that respect, like, oh, let's wait, and it's okay to wait. When I say I want to wait, everyone's like just freaked out that it'll never happen. And it's like, no, it's not that I'm not going to be intimate with you or it's not going to happen. I want to know if you're serious about me. And then, you know.
Well, I think, that's one factor of it. But I think the second factor, which is probably to me the most important factor, is that when you create an emotional connection with someone that does not involve a sexual, that does not involve sexual emotions taking over your emotional connection, it gives you more of a clarity on what it is you're seeking from the relationship.
Right.
And I think that's the part where a lot of relationships that do end are missing, is that if you do start your relationship with a sexual one to begin with, then you've compromised the clarity at that point. And as time goes by, you're like trying to decide whether you're with this person because of the sex or you're with this person because you like them, but the reason why you like them, half of it is because of the sex.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of confusion that people go through.
Yeah.
And if that's not, and that could easily be avoided if you just wait it.
I get where you're coming from. I don't want to I don't know if I can speak on that because I've never had somebody be like, I want to wait. You know, I've never said, I've never been in a long-term relationship.
Yeah.
It's all been very you know, we're hooking up. Okay, we're dating. Okay, 3 months later, we don't really like each other anymore. And we realize that, you know, or like my last relationship, we were seeing each other for 6 months, but then I found out that I wasn't the only person he was seeing. And then he said, well, we were never really together, you know. Oh, well.
But were you only seeing him and nobody else?
Yeah. And so I was really hurt by that because I was like, damn, I'm over here almost every day. You know, I thought that we didn't necessarily talk about the stipulations of the relationship because, you know, I felt special. I felt like I was the only person. I felt like I didn't need that reassurance because I got it, you know, with his actions and with his saying. But then when I found out that I wasn't the only person, I just kind of blew up because I was so hurt, you know? Because when I'm like a person, I don't play games. I don't think about the month or the waiting or anything like that. I'm just with you. And I give you my attention. I'm very attentive. I give you my all. And so I'm not necessarily thinking about I don't know. I'm not seeing.
Do you think a lot of the.
Maybe I'm just not seeing the red flags where he's not.
Do you think a lot of these relationships lack communication?
Yeah, for sure.
Do you think that a part of why they lack communication is because maybe you're afraid to have those communications and make those guys feel annoyed? Or do you see it as if you had the communication that they would sort of
I think it
track back?
I'm not sure. I want to say that it's because I'm afraid, but when I do bring it up, I almost felt like I was lied to, you know, because I said, hey, is this relationship go past the physical connection to you? You know, and it was, of course it does. Of course it does. What are you talking about, babe? What are you talking about? I'm like, okay, well, why are you sleeping with other people? You know, because if it's how I said in the beginning, I know where my love lies with that person. I don't know where their love lies with me. In that moment, I'm like, okay, well, I thought I was this person to you. Now I don't know who I am to you at all. Right. I don't know if I'm just another girl. I don't know what, you know, I still love and I still care for you. Maybe that's one of my bad traits is that it's hard for me to walk away. I will still continue to give my all to that person, even if they're not giving me that same energy back.
Well, you went into it with a certain expectation, and that expectation was never clarified, right?
I went into the relationship, like, again, very chill, very go with the flow.
Sure.
I wasn't expecting anything. He was older.
But you were expecting, though.
No, I wasn't expecting anything, just kind of like the way we met. And, you know, I'm not going to force myself into a relationship with an older guy because they're busy. They have, like, I liked what it was. I really liked what it was because we didn't press each other about anything.
But then why expect monogamy?
No, like, I think it was just kind of like we had talked about it. And
You had talked about monogamy?
We had talked about monogamy, and, like, we had talked about, like, you know how you said, like, you know, everyone's going to get something out of a relationship. Sure. We had talked about that, and we weren't getting anything but love and, you know, attentiveness out of each other.
Right.
And we had talked about that, and we were like, oh, well, I'm not getting money out of you. I'm getting something else out of you. And we looked each other in each other's eyes, and, you know, told each other, or I told him that I loved him, and in the end of the relationship, I started to realize that I wasn't getting that back, and that's when I started to look for clues that he was cheating, and then I found it.
Got it. So he did talk about monogamy with you, and he basically
and
stated
I was being, like, lied to, and, like, you know, little white lies, because, you know, I think once he started to realize that I would be hurt, that I would be upset if he found out, he was trying to keep things from me.
Right.
But it sucks because I just wish that there was that communication, because I'm not the type. I am a very romantic person. I'm a very, like, I like monogamy. I like, you know, the person to, you know, have that respect for me. But then in the end of the day, like, he's an older dude. I'm a younger girl. Like, we didn't fully meet on the basis of, like, starting a long-term, like, serious relationship. So when I started realizing that he was sleeping with other women and I couldn't control that, I just wanted to be with him. So I just loved him so much that I just wanted to be with him. I didn't care about any of that. And I was willing to put myself aside just to be able to see him, just to be able to be with him, even if he was sleeping with other people.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
So then you continued seeing him?
I did see him, like, I saw, like, after we kind of, like, broke up, I saw him, like, a month later, but then I blew up on him because I saw it was, like,
way past what you could handle?
Yeah. I thought it was, like, one or two people. I didn't know this person at all. Like, it was, like, full on.
How did you find out?
The phone. Like, I went through the phone.
Oh, you...
Well, I didn't... Okay, here's the thing. I never went through his phone ever, because I had that respect. I wanted to show him that I wasn't that girl. I cleaned the house. I cleaned this. I made sure that everything was nice. I, you know, I was a little submissive. I was just very chill. And then when I went back after, you know, finding some stuff out, he would watch like podcasts on his TV and on his phone.
Sure.
And so he would fall asleep watching the podcasts. Like, he would have YouTube playing on the phone and YouTube playing on the TV. So there's, like, two different podcasts going on at the same time, or intellectual talks going on at the same time. And I'd be like, oh my God, like, he's asleep. I have to turn this shit off.
Right.
So the phone's open, and I pick up the phone, and I was like, okay, I've never had the phone open before, ever, in this last 6 months. I've never seen it open. I've never played it, you know, so I just went to the text messages. It was so bad. Like, I was literally, I'm, like, shaking thinking about it, because I was, like, in fight or flight mode. And I was like, okay, well, I can wake him up, and I can be mad, and I can scream, and I can never see him again. Or I can, you know, go to sleep, and I can wake up, go to my photo shoot, never see him again.
Right.
And I couldn't resist just blowing up. I blew up, and I was, like, you know, just freaking out, because I was so upset. I love this person, you know. I spent so many nights. I helped this person, you know, when they had a surgery. I was helping them, you know, being there for them while they were recovering. I gave him COVID. I had COVID. I didn't want to go over. I know, literally, I gave him COVID and then helped him recover from COVID. We put down his dog of 12 years. We had put down his dog together. And then for him to turn around and say we were just friends, or I didn't see you as seriously, or, you know. And I was
you woke him up.
I woke him up screaming. Crying.
And he's like, what the fuck is going on?
He just said, you went through my phone, that's it, and he kicked me out.
Oh, wow, that's all he said.
He said, you went through my phone, that's my one thing of privacy, that's it, you're out. And he couldn't kick me out because I couldn't drive home. I was like belligerent. I was ballistic. I was crying. I was screaming. I couldn't drive. I was like, please don't make me drive home. Like, I can't drive. And so I fell asleep that night in his bed. Like, he wouldn't touch me. Like, he would not even fucking touch me. And I was so sad.
Would you want him to touch you?
I was just wanted to be cuddled. Like, I just wanted to be cuddled by my man. Like, I was sad. Like, I just wanted a hug.
You would have gone back to him if you wanted to. You would. Wow. Wow.
That's where I feel like is my bad trait, is like, I feel like, and I've gone to my friends about this and been like, I'm sorry that I'm not giving you the attention that I feel like I should be giving you, because I'm giving more attention to this asshole that's not giving me attention. I'm giving more attention to him than I'm giving attention to my best friends, that I feel like I should be giving that attention to. So I've actually gone to my friends and apologized to them and be like, I'm sorry that I'm not being a better person and giving people that actually love me that love. I'm giving this asshole that love. But I also feel like I was manipulated for 6 months, so you can't really.
Well, I don't know if you could really. Well,
I think I was just, maybe misled.
Lied to, sure.
Misled, and then
manipulated. I'm not sure.
I didn't have my own. I wasn't thinking of the possibility. I was just kind of like, I know that he's not, because he makes me feel this type of way,
Well, do you know why you were feeling the way you were feeling about him, as far as your emotional connection was concerned?
Because I didn't feel like it was about sex. I didn't feel like the relationship was about sex. I feel like every time, we looked each other in our eyes, it was like we had that click, we had that connection, that chemistry. When I went over, I didn't go over to have sex. It just kind of happened. It was very passionate. And I appreciated that. And that's what it kind of made me feel like, oh, I wasn't just a fuck. I wasn't just a this. I was more than that. And maybe it was because he was having sex with a lot of other women. Maybe he was getting it out with other women. And then when he saw me, it was just chill vibes. No, I just really liked the relationship.
So you felt that was unique
I felt
in comparison to what you've experienced
totally,
in the past.
Totally. And I felt like I didn't have to ask about the stipulations of the relationship. Even though we had talked about it throughout the 6 months, it was just very chill.
How old was he?
34. And he was incredibly intelligent. It just made me feel like he built me up and like showed me like a different light, like showed me like a different way of looking at things. And just like you appreciate someone who is smart.
Right.
Sorry, he broke my heart. I'm like, oh.
Happens often.
It's whatever.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Man, I was gonna ask you about the timeline between like the guy that you're seeing. I guess the guy that you're seeing now is.
I wouldn't say
came along past.
Sorry.
Well, seeking now. That's what we would call it. The guy that you're seeking now.
Yeah, I'd say we're just kind of like we're just friends. I mean, I wouldn't know what to call it, because again, like I know where my. But
what I'm asking is that came after this situation.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
right.
so
when you said COVID.
Timeline, I met him April of last year, and we dated until about September, October.
Okay, not that long.
Yeah. So it was like 6 months,
Sure.
like during the summer.
So 6 months, and then wait, how did you find out about his infidelities the first time around?
He left a review for an escort.
That's just sloppy.
Yeah, that's why I thought that I was like, my friend's like, oh well, he's asking to get caught, like he doesn't care anymore, And I read the review, and it was very like he wanted to see her again. And it wasn't like this girl, I saw her page, I saw her like ad, and she wasn't just like an on call. It was like someone you have to like book, and like she has like a website where you like send your information, and she was like not cheap. She was not cheap. And it was like a thing you had to like plan, and she was like gonna come into town, and like so she was coming into LA, and like he booked her and he left a review.
When you say not cheap, how expensive is not cheap?
Like, I don't know, like $1,000 for an hour.
$1,000
It was $1,000 an hour, dude. She was not cheap.
Oh my God. That is crazy.
So he was spending like real money on hookers.
$1,000 an hour?
Dude, she was not cheap.
Wait, her spit is out of gold? What is happening? That is crazy.
I mean, she was cute. She wasn't like a bad looking girl. She's just...
I don't understand. I mean, I understand if you like don't have time and like, you know, don't want to put energy into like meeting girls.
Here's my whole like wrap up on what I believe is what he's into. From what I saw on the phone,
Right.
it wasn't just me that was in love with him. There was also messages of a woman, paragraphs she was sending him, like, I love you so much, I'll be a good conservative woman to a Christian man, I know you don't talk about having kids, but like I want to have your kids, like blah, 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 sending naked pictures of herself, like blowing him up, and he wouldn't reply, and then he would be like, oh, I'm working, babe, I'm so sorry, I'm busy, I'll text you when I can, I'll see you in the astrolight and the stars, I'll see you in my dreams, like paragraphs. And I'm like, yo, I'm not the only one that's crazy about this guy. Like, there are other women, and I think that he sees a lot of women, and then just like maybe.
So you think he gets a kick out
of the women falling in love with him?
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That's interesting.
That I saw another woman like blowing him up.
That's interesting.
That's why I was like shaking in the bed. I was like, what the fuck do I do? Looking at him like, bro, what the hell?
Wow. That's fascinating to me.
Yeah.
What does he do?
He is like a movie editor. He's like an editor, and so he's worked on like movies and commercials and stuff.
Right.
And
So he's like behind the desk a lot of time.
Yeah, always working from. I didn't think he went out. I thought he just worked from home, did nothing. He would work on his little shed. No, like he literally, like, I didn't think he had like friends like that. And then I look in the phone and there's people inviting him out to like Saturday dinner, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I did not know that he was just a totally different person.
Had that like social life.
Had a social life. I didn't think that he like had a social life. I didn't think that he, because we would always just be home. Like, I mean, it was COVID, so we couldn't really go out.
Right.
But I didn't think that it was like, you know what's so crazy is because
Homeboy was getting it.
For real.
Oh man.
No, I honestly, that's how I was like, damn, like he really just
Played you.
Yeah, has like a lot of women over and whatever. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Isn't that crazy?
And then goes and pays $1,000 for some chick. He's just so confused. This is like so. But do you think like he was paying that so he could get her to fall in love with him at some point, or do you think he was just like, was that girl worth the $1,000? Like when you saw, because I feel like you're on it, like you're fairly
Wait,
you're fair
about. Is she worth
$1,000? Yeah.
Maybe she does like a lot of Kegels. Maybe she does like a lot of Kegels, and she's like, yeah, it's worth it. It's really tight.
But like look wise, did you think
she was really like, she's like had big, like, and I love fake boobs, like but like it was just like really like overdone, and she had like a lot of tattoos, like, and I again love tattoos and covered in tattoos, but like it was just like big lips, like big like plump.
Sure.
Like just dolly, like very dolly, like very like
opposite of what you look like.
Very opposite.
Right.
And it was like, okay, well now I don't really know what his type is, because I thought his type was like this, but now I know his type is like big boob fake, like plasticky. Like
maybe his type is anything that has a vagina.
Yeah, that's what I started to realize, was like he doesn't have a type. It's like very, just, I don't know.
Interesting.
I spent a lot of time questioning and wondering, like, what was it? What happened? Like, what did I do wrong? You know, everything. But I just started to realize that I will never understand. I will never know like what happened. I will never like be able to get in his head, and I don't want to assume things. I don't want to be like, oh, he's a sex addict. Oh, he likes women falling in love with him. Oh, he likes this. Like, I don't know, because nobody's perfect. Like, we're all human. We all have our
Some
shit.
assumptions are fair to be made. No.
Yeah, I guess, but I don't know. I think the whole thing was just like, I was lied to, so don't lie to the people that you like.
Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah.
100%. And it seems to me that had he been honest with you,
I would have been okay with it.
Yeah.
I would have just been like, hey, like, maybe
you would have made
chill
it work.
out on it. Maybe,
Yeah.
like, I think I just, because I wasn't expecting, like, a full-blown relationship because of the fact that there was an age gap. And I wasn't, I don't think he was expecting me to,
It seems like he's one of those guys that probably could, start a sex cult.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well, do you want me to, like, give more juiciness about?
Sure. Yes. Absolutely.
I don't want to, like spill the beans, so I'm not, okay, so.
Now we already have,
Okay.
so might as well.
So, I saw a text, and this is, like, what blew me up, like, why I was, like, I couldn't not resist blowing up. I saw a text, and he asked, it said, is you and your sister available?
Uh-huh. Wow.
Is you and your sister available? And then the text said, no, she retired for good. So assuming one of the sisters retired or whatever.
Sure. Yeah.
So my friend, I don't want to, like, spill like a bunch of, like, just a little backstory. My friend, her mom couldn't, like, get any more dates. Like, her mom was like, would see guys, would see clients.
Sure.
She couldn't get any more clients, so she had her daughter. She would take her daughter to go see clients. Mm-hmm. So it was a mom and daughter.
Right.
They would go by sisters because the mom looked younger. It was less creepy, maybe.
Right.
I don't know. So basically, this mom
like at that point, it even matters.
got my friend into prostitution, and they would go as mom and daughter, but go by sisters. Mm-hmm. I was confiding in my friend about, because I was going through the breakup. I was like, I saw the text on his phone, and I was on FaceTime with her, and I said, I saw this text, and it said, is you and your sister available? And no, she retired for good. She goes, babe, that sounds like me and my mom. I was like, what? She goes, she retired for good. She goes, I retired for good. She got out of the game. She stopped doing that. She got a real job. She stopped doing that because she realized it wasn't her thing.
He was texting your friend's mom?
So she goes, that sounds like me and my mom. And I was like, no fucking way. Did you see my ex? And she was like, send me his pictures. So I sent her his pictures. God. And she goes, no, I didn't see him. She goes, I've never been there, but let me ask my mom. The mom said that she didn't know him, but she lied. On Halloween, like October of last year, my girlfriend comes in to our mutual friend's house, and she's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, babe. My mom lied to me. She did see him. So he hired my friend's mom.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And she told me the story, because I was like, I have to, like, validify this. Like, I have to know. And I didn't care that, because that's her job. Like, her job is to go, like, that's her thing. She's been doing it for over 20s, however long she's been,
Jesus Christ.
So that's her thing. She's, that's, like, her whatever. And she told me, she was like, yeah, my boyfriend, he drives me to all my dates. He drove me there. It was just a thing. It was just an hour. He tried to get me to stay longer than the hour. And he tried to get me to do DMT. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's him. Because I knew that he did DMT. And so I was like, how was it? Like, like, what was he like? And she was like, oh, he was just trying to get me to do DMT and trying to, but she's like, I just did my job and I left. So that's why I blew up, because I saw sisters, and I woke him up and I said, you were fucking sisters.
That's crazy.
He didn't fuck sisters. He only fucked the mom.
Right.
And they were, yeah, but yeah. And then I was like pissed off at him. I was like, you fucked my friend's mom. So he was like hiring girls, like
right.
Just a lot of different, yeah.
I mean, it sounds like he's definitely got something. Some wiring is crossing up there, yeah. For sure.
For sure.
But
just miss that brain. I miss that those intellectual conversations. Yeah. I miss that,
And you'll be able to have that with with other people.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of finding the right person.
Yeah.
And you're in an area that can get, I mean, things like this could get very complicated very quickly.
Yeah, so anyone listening, just make sure that your boyfriend is not hiring prostitutes.
Wow.
Because it will save you a lot of heartbreak. And a lot of, like, I don't know, my girlfriends, they're like, why do you want to go back? I'm like, I don't know, I just love him. Like, you have that love for somebody. Maybe it goes back to me being like a Libra, having a big heart.
Interesting. It goes back to a lot of different things that I would like to unpack later on, but we're out of time today. That's interesting.
I didn't think I'd be spending the whole podcast talking about my ex, but that's just where
that's where the conversation
went. So that's where we're gonna end it.
Well, I appreciate you coming on the show.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Appreciate chatting.
Of course. We'll have you.
And you almost made me cry.
I know. I saw that, and I was like, "Fuck."
It's okay. I held back. I was like really trying not to.
Yeah, you pulled it together pretty well. I'm proud of you. Thanks again.